Welcome to the Value Wrestling Podcast. I'm the big time BT Baldwin. This is my tag team partner,
Bliss Clark.
And we are here to give you the best value in pro wrestling, sports entertainment today. We are here to be a part of the IWC community because that we vow to value back into wrestling. Roundup and review of wrestling news going on today, yesterday, everything in between. We got a SummerSlam podcast that just came up on Twitter. Alexa Bliss, who is not at SummerSlam for whatever reason. We'll have to see what's going on with her. But she just came out and said, you got to sin to get saved. What could this possibly be? I mean, previously to that, but you didn't have to cut me off, make out like it never happened, and that we were nothing. And then previous to that, in her Twitter feed, now you're just somebody that I used to know.
Makes you want to sing a pop culture song, doesn't it? Somebody that I used to know.
Everybody. No. So, I don't know what's going on with Alexa Bliss. I was kind of surprised they didn't do anything with her at SummerSlam. And now she's talking about you gotta sin to be saved. So, is this an opening to a door? We're gonna see a change. I don't know how I feel about Alexa Bliss being
enamored with the Fiend.
I don't know how to feel about Alexa Bliss and what she's going to do. I mean, she's enamored, as you were saying, with the Fiend
of all characters.
And if she's enamored with the Fiend and she's face, and this is where I think they're turning the Fiend face, which I don't like. So we're going to turn Alexa Bliss heel, which she's a great heel actor, but is she going to be Sister Abigail? And why would we, I mean, I don't know. I don't buy it.
She wouldn't be Sister Abigail, but they could tell the story.
She could be an embodiment.
Yes, that's where I was going with that.
Or we can get Vince McMahon stupid, and she goes off with the Fiend and becomes possessed with Sister Abigail.
That's essentially where I was going with that.
If they get possession in WWE, you might as well start bringing in zombies again and vampires.
Well, I mean, you had...
Let's go find the Yeti. Or was it the Yeti? I don't know, whatever they had wrapped up in WCW and toilet paper and mummy. Reese, Big Reese. That's who was that in WCW.
Mm-hmm.
You really gonna, I mean, oh my Jesus. Could you have Alexa Bliss enamored with the Fiend and have the Fiend take her off to the compound, to the Wyatt family, wherever, the back room and the private room of the funhouse, and have his way with Alexa Bliss just to have her possessed with Sister Abigail?
I don't think they're going to go quite that far because it's supposed to be...
Well, I don't mean have her way as in like dirty minded, let's get in the gutter. I'm just saying.
Alright. Continuing on.
Cut. So are we going to have the Fiend take Alexa Bliss back to the, or is he going to be Bray Wyatt? Or is Bray Wyatt going to guide her to the funhouse? Firefly Funhouse and lock her up in the back bedroom, and then the Fiend is going to help possess her with Sister Abigail? I mean, it's stupid Vince logic. I mean, I get where Vince would come up with, yeah, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take Alexa, we're going to have her possessed with Sister Abigail, and then she can be Sister Abigail in Alexa Bliss, yes! I'm going to shoot myself.
How would shoot Vince instead?
I don't know, what scares me sometimes is saying things because I'm afraid that there's somebody out there that's watching this crap, small, big, or little. I'm scared that people are out there watching this stuff that report to Vince and they're going to be like, Vince, look what these guys said. This would be awesome. They'd be like, let's do it. I'm hoping they already figured out what they're doing with Alexa Bliss. But why she wasn't there at SummerSlam, I don't know, but now she's saying, you have to sin to be saved. You have to be, and this is actually ideology, the statement is good, but what does that mean? And who is she pertaining that to? Is it a self-pertainment of saying you have to sin to be saved? So, she's saying she's unsavable because she hasn't sinned, or is she saying she's going to sin so she can be saved? Or is she talking to Braun still? Or is she talking to... I don't know. It gets confusing. It's a whole other storyline coming up. But right now, let's talk about Thunderdome. Thunderdome looks great for entrances and inlays and everything else.
Very aesthetically pleasing.
Mm-hmm. As far as fans, the virtual fan screen, I guess it's okay when they stay away from being up close. I mean, I get what you said when, everybody's applauding, they're trying to get a fan reaction, and it's kind of weird, which I think from it is just not being used to seeing things like that.
Oh, it's a new era.
So here's how it works. You go, you got to watch out on social media. Number one, you got to watch out on Twitter and Facebook or wherever else. They're going to announce whenever they register for whatever next show's coming. So I have registered for Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. And so they send you an email that says, thank you for registering. Does this mean I'm in? What they are going to do is they're going to send an email, link to join on the day of the show. So Monday they will send me an email. The seats are available on a first come, first served basis until seats fill up. Once you're in the WWE Thunderdome, you will join other fans who appear live on digital video boards during the show. Call time is 7:45 p.m. Eastern time, so that's going to be 4:45 my time now. Virtual show link. Look out for another email with the link to joining the day of the show. This link is personal to you, so it is a one-time valid only thing. So the thing is, they're saying they're going to send you a link. You use this email to link in, but you can only do it at like 7:45. If you do it any other time, it won't work, and then you can't use it again. So you're at AOL. So there's not a test. Don't register and hit the link and then test. And some of the guidelines. Now, all registered fans are further selected on a first-come, first-served basis. Please make sure you're camera ready. Remember, you will have to you'll be appearing live on the show, and of course, they reserve the right to remove you any reason at all. They feel like they want to be like, bye, Felicia, deuces, adios, Butch, take a hike, get lost, Federico. Now, can you dig that? But yeah, they're going to give you no reason. They can boot you and remove you from the live stream at any time for any reason. The other thing that most people probably know is it's going to be refreshed for the night. So what they're doing throughout the night, the audience will be refreshed throughout the night, and you may not be included in the entire broadcast. So at any point in time, you can be sitting there and doing nothing. They can refresh the broadcast. And from what I'm understanding, you can be out. I don't know if that means you're out temporarily. If they refresh, you can get back in. I don't know how that works. We're going to find out because I'm going to experience it. So we'll see. Hopefully it's not one of these things I get to see one match and like, well, we refresh the audience and you're out. That's the end of my night. I mean, that would totally suck. I'd be okay if they like refresh you in and out. They rotate you a little bit once you're in. But I'm not finding anything where it says. It just says that you'll be fresh throughout the night. You may not be included in the entire broadcast. That's very open-ended what they're saying. You may not be included in the entire broadcast, but it doesn't tell me that once it refreshes and you're off, you're out, you may get to come back in. We may remove you from the live stream for any inappropriate conduct or technical issues. So yeah, if your camera doesn't work or something goes awkward with your internet, if your internet goes out, you're out. So if you have any technical issues or anything going on like that, you could be easily just out of the picture too. So, or even if I'm assuming they have a technical issue with your feed, you could be out. So it's really easy to get kicked out of there. Watch the throw. You got to watch the throw through the stream on your device. Make sure you position yourself in front of your camera with your midsection. So basically here up is good. If you got a belly, you don't have to show it. One fan per seat. Oh, need a little headroom, it says. And have good lighting, of course, which is important in anything that you do. You got a camera. Of course, right now I don't know if we have the best lighting, but I think it does. We're hoping to progress and get some better lighting as we go. It's only one fan per seat, but I did see tonight, and I don't know what happened, but I did see a dad and this young kid sharing the screen, and I think I saw another scene where there was like a guy and there was people behind him. I don't know if they were watching, so I don't know if they got to stay on or if they got booted. I don't know how exactly that works. If you have a kid and they're watching beside you, I would not think, I wouldn't think WWE would want that publicity saying, oh, we're going to boot them, there's two people there. I mean, if it's your kid or you have somebody, and I mean, I don't think that's going to help them or be anything. You must be in appropriate attire and you must remain seated at all times. So that's just, you gotta wait till you get stopped or a chance to go to the bathroom, I guess. Just can't get up in the middle of it. If you get up, I guess they'll kick you out. Officially licensed WWE clothing is preferred. So if you have WWE gear, you're probably really in good gear to keep yourself on the show for the entire podcast. If you're wearing some WWE gear, I wonder what happened if I went and got my what is it? The BTW. I have a CM Punk shirt. I do have a CM Punk shirt. It's B something. I forget. I do have a Seth Rollins shirt, redesigned, or I have an AJ Styles shirt. I have a Glorious shirt. I guess they'd be unhappy if they saw me wearing my Bullet Club socks. So good to sell you. So that'll probably help you if available. So they want you to wear WWE gear if available. Too sweet. We reserve the right to terminate your participant at our sole discretion if your attire contains any immoral graphics, images or text, or any political statements, slogans, logos, graphics, or other commercial identifications of third parties other than WWE, its athletes, and sponsors. So that's the Thunderdome initial email right here. And it's about 2 pages, so how do you feel about that?
It is what it is. There's really not much you can say to it. They want to control their narrative. They have every right to control their narrative.
This is true, and this is what people get mad about, because they're yelling, oh, WWE will throw you because you're in AEW gear. As long as, and this is another thing, like when, even in the time we're in, that I think people will lose sight of the track off and they go outside of kind of wrestling for a moment, that when a business exists, that business has all its rights and sole property, as long as it doesn't violate your rights as a person in certain ways. They can decide, hey, we don't want to serve you, or we don't want you here, or whatever. And so, a lot of people get mad because these, like today, the biggest thing today is people go, oh, I don't want to wear a mask. They have to wear a mask. It's fine. I'm not going to get in the mask debate. Everybody can debate that until we're blue in the face, back and forth. We have family. You have a mother, I have a grandmother and a dad that really we know could be jeopardized if something were to happen. And so just out of precaution, whether it works or not, we're not mad scientists, we're not in the knowledge, we're going on a basic of faith of saying, you know what, we'll take the extra precaution, we'll put on a mask just to be safe, just to avoid any chance of something being funky like a monkey. So, people complain about, oh, you don't wear a mask, they don't wear a mask. But, and then you get mad because when you go into a business, they're like, oh, you can't come in if you don't wear a mask. Well, you can't violate my rights. They're not violating your rights because it's their business. They're a private business. That's not public property. It's private business. Once you decide that you're in a private business, they get to decide who they want to have in there. WWE's the same way. They're a private business. When they rent a venue, and that's what they do. When they go into a venue, it's not like the venue goes, hey, come here, we want to put your show in. I mean, they do. Because there's money to be made. Everybody's making money. That's the only reason WWE goes into a venue, is because that venue wants them to come there, but they're charging WWE a certain percentage of whatever's coming in, and they have an agreement. Just like right now, WWE is renting out the Amway Center for an amount that I have not seen all the details on. It seems like it's going to be for about 2 months. They have a contract or a rental agreement going on there, and that's where WWE is going to record its shows. But now WWE kind of owns the rights to who can be a part of what's in the Amway Center. So it's that simple. This is WWE product. You come on their show and you want to wear an AEW shirt. They told you no, that's not going to be allowed. They're going to kick you off. And that's, you should know full well, because they put a list of rules out. Whether you like them or not, it doesn't matter. These are rules.
They let you know ahead of time.
Yeah, they're telling you. And so if you're going to go on there and wear an AEW shirt and you get kicked out, you cannot complain because you knew exactly what you were going into beforehand. And you can't complain because they have every right to do that because it's their business, and if they don't want to promote the competition on their show, they don't have to. They don't have to let anybody come in there with AEW, TNA, or Impact, Ring of Honor, New Japan, any of these other...
Insert company here.
Yeah, insert company here. They don't want to promote it, they don't want to promote it. And if you're going to go on there and try and do that, or let alone any other crazy stunt, or be a buffoon, and you get mad because you get caught, you know the rules, and unfortunately, me and him know well, we come from the degenerate class, we understand, but at the same time, you have to accept, okay, I'm going to abide by these rules because I really want to do this. So, I mean, I don't know. If you're going to mess it up, it's on you, and it's the risk you take. So these are the rules, and it can't blame WWE. I mean, it may suck for some people, and some of the rules might sound really dumb, but some of that goes into that's WWE. Some of that goes into the culture that we're in, and they have to protect themselves from somebody else doing something because they've got to make money. The only way they make money is by having investors. Investors are people with money, the stockholders, and then the other companies that are paying to be a part of the product and having their advertisement and everything in it. So I don't know. Do you think you're going to register for an WWE
Not
show?
at all. To me, that's just too many hoops to follow through. That my rebel side, my degenerate side, would be like, no, I really want to do everything they are asking me not to do. So it's just not worth it for me.
So we'll just get you a AEW shirt and get you like a Cody Rhodes hat. And
No. AEW shirt, something with CM Punk right here.
Oh, okay. And then a sign that says "Fuck Vince."
Ooh, no, but maybe hashtag
God,
FTF.
say that.
Hashtag FTF.
FTF. Or maybe a sign that says "Vince is old, please retire," or "Vince retired, please retire, please retire." Go away, come back never. Anyways, so Thunderdome, it's aesthetically pleasing. I like it. The graphic wise, when they come out to the ring, you've seen all that. They do great camera angles. Now, camera angles, I don't know what's going on with the camera angles for these matches, but the entrances are good. So it's going to be interesting. I just want to do it for the experience of what it feels like on the end to sit here and what you're going to see and how it really works. I think it's going to be an interesting experiment, and it's free, so I'm not paying anything for it, so that's fine. I mean, maybe if they do something different where you can pay for your seat on the virtual thing, you get to stay through the whole show. That's what I know a lot of people argue about. Well, I'm paying to go to their show. Well, yeah, you go to the store and pay for products in the store, but if you don't follow the store's rules, they're going to kick you out. So, I mean, if you go to a baseball game and you act like a fool, they're going to kick you out. You ain't getting your money back. You go to a football game, same thing. I mean, it's just, that's the way it is. You can be mad all you want, but that's business, and you agree to a contract every time you purchase something. I mean, if you purchase a baseball ticket, just because it doesn't say on that ticket, there's all these rules. There's going to be somewhere on the ticket, there are rules here, or you just...
Or they're on the website.
Exactly. Before you purchase that ticket, it's going to tell you there's rules and regulations that you have to follow. If you want to read them or not, here they are. And most people click right by it, because most people aren't out there doing dumb stuff. There's people that just want to go out here and do dumb stuff for whatever reason. Anywho. So, that's it on Thunderdome. You want to add anything into the Thunderdome? Thunderdome. Feel the thunder.
Insert ACDC.
And land down under. So what I have here is Arn Anderson reveals who he picked for the modern revamp of the Four Horsemen. 3 of them we could pick. And we've talked about it, Cody Rhodes, FDR. Who do you think he wanted number 4?
I'm not sure who he wanted. I know who would make sense to me.
Well, who makes sense to you?
Considering that FDR, as of Saturday, officially aligned with Tully Blanchard. Sean Spears makes the most sense. He's also already with Tully.
Sean Spears, Cody Rhodes being best friends in that sense, or close friends. I don't know if they're best friends. I think they were sold as best friends initially. I'm not sure.
Really close friends.
Of course, Matt Cardona. Woo.
You know it.
Is close friends with Cody Rhodes too. Not that he'd be a good member for a Horseman stable. He needs to have a good solo run.
Yes.
Mid to upper mid card.
He needs to be built first.
Yeah. Rebuilt, really.
Well, if you weren't really built to begin with, thanks to WWE.
Well, he built himself as the internet champion, in which I guess he's jokingly back and forth about bringing the internet champion into AEW, which is like, I'm like...
That's not going to happen anytime soon, only because of the FTW title being in. Even though it's unofficial.
Yeah, I know.
Not too many titles there.
I don't know why they have a FTW title, and then...
My guess is it's because it was a cool throwback from Tony Khan's perspective.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like it as a cool throwback too. So...
But then why can't the Intercontinental title, or not Intercontinental title, sorry WWE, why wouldn't the Intercontinental title be in AEW? The Internet Championship be in AEW.
I'm not saying it won't be.
Yeah.
I'm saying at this point, it would be, it's like, we're still building the reputation on the different titles, both official and the non-official.
I know. It's just gonna be a wait and see, but they really need to repackage. I mean, I see him and I go, Zack Ryder, and I mean, no offense, but that's just
no one knows him under his real name unless you paid attention to his Twitter
or Major Brothers Podcast.
And
most people don't even know where that comes from. That they were once known as the Major Brothers.
Yeah.
And we're kind of doing what they were kind of doing the
Edgeheads.
Well, yeah, they did the Edgeheads, but when they were the Major Brothers, they were doing the Southern Redneck style. They were the Major Brothers. They were kind of like before the Briscoe Brothers. Slightly different, but I mean they were kind of the same that look, Southern country. But yeah, the Major Brothers. But most people don't know that the Major Brothers were actually Matt Cardona. I'm sorry, Matt. Please forgive me. I'm not an expert here. And Brian Myers.
Mm-hmm.
And see, if you had a name like Brian Myers, it's a short enough tongue, it'd be easy to say. So then they came to WWE as the Edgeheads, and then off to the races they went. Matt is stuck around a lot longer with WWE than Brian. And Brian's had kind of in and out, no Kurt Hawkins, for those who don't know. So, anyways, the fourth version that Arn Anderson wanted for a horseman would be Brody Lee. So you have Cody, FTR, and Brody Lee.
Which would have been interesting if he wasn't already the leader of the Dark
Horse.
Oh,
yeah. He acknowledges that if he wouldn't be a part of this, but yeah, it goes to say that he actually really respected Brody Lee and all his capabilities, and he's had a lot of talent he's been watching for a long time. It's just he never had the chance,
But since they can't get Brody Lee, they can always go into ROH and get Brody King from Villain Enterprises.
They just need to, AEW just needs to go get all of them Villain Enterprises and bring them in. Also in this interview, they talked to Arn about if Adam Page reminds him of Barry Windham. And of course, he says he does. I think he's very, very talented too. Here's one of the really smart things that are occurring is he's getting over and he's being pushed. Not like a rocket straight up, but a little bit off on an angle so that it goes up on 1 week and then maybe go up a little more the next week. Then you may flatline across and stay where he's position-wise, but he's not being shoved where you spit him out. So, Hangman Page, I guess I have mixed feelings about. I can see Barry Windham there. I can see it definitely. I can agree with Arn there. I can get where Arn's saying they're pushing him a little bit slowly. There's a slow burn on there. I just think at one point if he's going to break away from the Elite, great. And I think it's just hard for me because it's like they keep like AEW doesn't have enough faces. That's my biggest thing. It's like, hey man, I thought he was a face. I thought he was going to be the big, good baby face to kind of carry it through.
When AEW started, he was positioned as possibly one of the top baby faces, if not the potential top baby face to face Jericho for the title. And I don't know, it's been interesting. The main problem with AEW is you have a following that watches both Being Elite on YouTube and Dynamite on TNT. Then you have those fans who only watch Dynamite.
Yeah.
So it's like, and since they don't acknowledge everything from whether it's AEW Dark or Being Elite on Dynamite, some people aren't as invested as those of us who watch everything.
Yes. And I think there definitely can be vested. There's a lot of entertainment, a lot of stuff there, and then Being the Elite carried, was there before AEW, and that just would spawn AEW and then come around, and they're carrying it on. And they kind of show us like back door side to the locker room, which is kind of cool because you get to see the inner side and see some of these guys chit chat, and we get to go away. And for anybody who's smart in this idea, who can break away from what happens in the arena or the ring and what's reality and why some of these people are like hanging out and being all cool. They do try to still keep that wall there a little bit, but there's still some breakage. But I mean, for me, it's like it's cool because you get to see this other side of it. But I can break away from what goes on in the arena and the ring and who's, like I don't get like, oh, well, look, damn, that's a bad guy, that's a good guy, and they're hanging out. Like, hey, that's not about to happen.
You're breaking the fourth wall.
It's So I don't mind that. But at the same time, and I know Cody Rhodes has really worked, and he's talked about it a couple times about not face or heel, just whoever, which is great, but at the same time, you're going to have the person that somebody is rooting for, the people that, the person everybody's rooting for, and the person that, maybe the other group of people rooting for, yeah, but it's not them, you can have the
There has to be a general push towards who traditionally would be face or heel. And it's like, because you're always going to root for who you root for.
Yeah.
But the way the stories are told should be told in a classic, this is traditionally, the good guy or the baby face, and this is traditionally the heel tactics or whatever.
Because, you're having two people wrestle, but you don't have any reason. What are they fighting for? And you got to put one in the positions. You have MJ. You can't say we can't do heels and faces, but you have MJF over here who's a cocky son of a bitch and a heel and just betrayed you. He's straight up heel, written beautifully, masterfully. Great talent, great mic work. It's done everything to put him in that top heel spot. But there's no
baby face to work with him.
Yeah. And it's going to hurt him because he doesn't have anybody to push him to that next level. Because you can be great and talented, but if you don't have somebody that's going to come against you and make you better, and that's what I think a lot of wrestlers have talked about, that wrestling gets stale, or we get to a point where they can't do anything because they don't have anything. And I think CM Punk was one of those new people that's like, why should I wrestle somebody unless they're going to make me better? I want to wrestle people who I'm going to be able to get better from. And that's what it is. And that's what a lot of, I think, sucks or is not working in wrestling, is that people are not competing against one another and trying to be better, grow and one-up one another and build that idea. And so, if you have MJF, great heel, wonderful heel, great on the mic, everything. And yeah, right now he's got Moxley. But Moxley sold his, and I don't mind it. I think where Moxley is like this, tweener, Stone Cold-esque, I'm going to do it my way, don't trust anybody, loner idea. Yeah, he kind of had that connection with Darby Allin there after that match. There was a respect thing, which is great. And, I love when we get great moments like that feel so real that you can go out and, okay, yeah, he really respects that guy, but still keep their character base. But when you have MJF and he's going to go against the middle guy Moxley, which you're like, cool match, it's going to be a great match, I'm sure. Both are talented. Talented to no ends. Moxley's amazing when he gets to do what he does and not be handicapped like he was in WWE. So they're going to give us a great match. That's no doubt about it. They're going to give us a great story. They're going to give us a great match. They can get great big promos. But if you put, we're getting to a point where they got to pull the cord on Moxley. Moxley can only go so far, even with him. There's not. You got Brody Lee, you got MJF. And those are your two heels that I see right now that are kind of at the top. Sean Spears is kind of floating in this mid-range. So at some point you got to pull the cord on Moxley, and he's got to lose the title. And we just saw that Cody dropped the belt to Brody Lee Saturday, so that takes him kind of out of any world title picture. So the only other option you have outside of Jericho in the inner circle, which I don't think giving the title back to Jericho already is going to do anybody any good, is for Moxley to lose the belt to MJF. And then where does MJF go? Yes, Moxley can make him a better heel, but then you got to have that baby face that comes up from behind, and then the underdog.
Right now, Darby Allin is basically feuding with Team Taz, which is Brian Cage and Stark.
Yes.
I can't think of his first name right now.
And they
Ricky
just
Stark.
or the other Darby, if you saw the
yes, who was still Ricky Stark.
Yes. It was great though. It was great. He was like. And I love some of the facial expressions from Darby Allin when they were flashing back to him. He's like, really? Are you stealing? Oh, really? Really? You're stealing my shit? He was like, wow, really? It seemed genuine. So I don't know. I think, some of the element of surprise is you don't let the other guy know what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. You have an oversight. You know what not to say or get into. Because I really, either Darby Allin's really, 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 really good at what he does, or he didn't know everything they were going to do. Because when he came out like that and he saw that and he was like, you could see in his face, he was like, really? This is really?
This is where we're going?
And when he was stealing his shit and going through his lines, and you could just see Darby Allin like, oh, okay, you're really good at it. It felt legit. So I don't know. I either give a whole lot of credit because Darby Allin, you're really freaking talented at what you do because your facial expression sold it to me like you didn't know it was coming, or he didn't know. And I mean, that's that's
like the natural reaction.
Oh, the natural reaction sometimes is a better reaction than anything else.
Sure.
So, but right now, AEW doesn't have that guy.
Well, okay, you're right. They don't have that guy right now, but the slow burn is on account like Jungle Boy, who. For a while, I almost thought that the feud between Jungle Boy and MJF was going to be like the next, shit, I'm kind of losing my thought here. But basically, they're going to make each other.
Yeah. But
and they may go back and they may not.
I don't know. It depends what they're going to do with MJF. Darby Allin, yes. Jungle Boy eventually, yes. But right now, they don't have it unless they really start pushing Hangman. And why they took Hangman up here and then he just kind of went here. Now they, tag team. They're like holding him in a place. But I mean, they're at a point where they got to pull the trigger on Moxley. There's not much more I can see Moxley with the title doing. Right? He's ran through quite a few people now. I don't know where you go next, and especially if he's facing MJF. I don't see how you keep Moxley champion. Unless it's a dirty finish or a screwy finish or something. I mean, there's ways, yes, but I don't see how you keep Moxley with the championship and not give it to MJF. And MJF he's here, he's hot, and he could go. You could give MJF a year-long title reign and be okay, and let him slowly burn through some faces. Those under guys. I mean, you could give him you could reunite the feud with Darby Allin right now. Have him overcome Darby Allin, put Darby Allin on the back burner, but have Darby Allin come back again. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities there. Hell, you could have MJ. You could kind of rekindle the MJF Cody Rhodes thing, but I don't know. Because I really would want to see Cody Rhodes, but I also think that Cody Rhodes, what they need to do is this.
Well, first we need to see where Cody Rhodes goes from
exactly.
Here. On top of that, he can't challenge for the world title. Period. I mean, if they really want to, yes, they could probably come up with some stipulation to bring him back. But as the storyline is now...
Who's more perfect than MJF to allow Cody to have that title match? Because
even though he's the one who threw the towel in to ensure that he couldn't vie for the title.
Yes, but I mean, there's a perfect storyline here. MJF becomes world champion. He beats Moxley. He's out here. He beats whoever. There's good old Cody, his friend, and he can mock Cody like, oh, I got the title and you can't have it. You can't have I have the title and you can't have it. And just, piss Cody off and then have Cody do something super drastic that pisses off MJF and be like, you know what, now you've crossed the line. And goes and says, I want the committee or whoever, Khan or whatever you want to say, I want to match with him, I want to put the title on, I want to pull that stipulation, blah, 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 blah. MJF would be one of the perfect people that you could actually get to, have Cody antagonize to allow him to have that title match in some form and pull that stipulation.
And like I said earlier, they could find ways to make it happen.
I mean, to say Cody's never going to fight for the AEW championship, I know that that's what he said personally, like that's really where he's at, like he doesn't want to do that, but at the same time, how can he be an AEW in this brand, this new brand, and not be the AEW champion? And again, the other aspect to that, what happens when Cody goes heel? You think Cody's going to follow the rules then and not win his title?
And he is an EVP, so therefore...
So, I mean, I think Cody going here is what needs to be done, a heel, a horseman, and I think it's perfect. I love what they also talk about right here is Paul Heyman. Arn Anderson's thoughts on Paul Heyman. Paul was going home from the very beginning. He knew it. He had done his homework. There are some guys in this business that study everything that is available, whether it be reading the dirt sheets, watching the network, buying old tapes, trading old tapes, watching everything that somebody's sitting at home who's a super fan and has taped every television match on earth. And there are some guys that collect all of that information so that when you ask them something, they don't go on memory. They have it logged. Cornette is one of those guys that has a super memory. And I think Cornette has everything. Like Cornette, I think he is. I don't know. I know he joked about the wrestling museum because he has his own wrestling museum. But it's cool what he said here about Paul Heyman. And speaking of Paul, I don't know where Paul is at this point. since he's been, I don't know if he's officially been, he's been relieved of his duties as executive, whatever, Monday Night Raw. I don't know what the exact title that is. Executive director or general manager, well, I wasn't general manager, but he was in charge of Monday Night Raw. Now, I know he got let go from that position.
I don't think he got let go from a talent perspective, though.
That I don't know. I've heard he's been released, like WWE released Paul Heyman, but I don't know what level. That stopped that because you can't have Brock Lesnar without Paul Heyman anymore. I mean, you could if you really wanted to, but Brock doesn't do any good talking, and he's better off not saying anything.
Yeah, because when Brock Lesnar first came back, was it, I want to say 2014, when he faced Cena and all that?
Yeah.
He came back without Heyman. It just wasn't.
No.
The in-ring has always been good, but yeah, Brock does best with Paul Heyman.
Yeah, well, Paul Heyman just does all the talking and gets him over, and that's what we need. I mean, there's no other need for that. So I don't know where Paul Heyman is. What is going on with Paul Heyman right now since he's been really... But Brock's not back. And that was the other thing. They all thought, a lot of people said Brock was going to come back tonight, which would have been fine. I mean, Brock could have came back tonight and done what Roman Reigns did and attacked the Fiend and Braun Strowman. I would have been maybe a little more excited about it than kind of... I don't know. I guess it was just kind of, it was out of nowhere. I mean, I guess my big disappointment is we got, you'll never see it coming. And it was Roman Reigns that we never saw coming. And I'm just like... I guess they just got her they hyped up and got her expectations so high that I was expecting something more.
See, I think I would have felt the same way whether it was Brock, whether it's Roman. Because there's nothing new or fresh.
No, they needed to bring somebody new in, or they needed to bring out change the legs of Bliss to interfere, or I don't know. Everybody talked about you never see it coming, and then nothing happened. Nothing really. I mean, Melvin came out of nowhere. It was like, okay, and they were like, where did he come from? Oh my gosh, he just came out of nowhere, and it was like, really? And then you had Retribution that was being built up, so we all thought maybe something with Retribution. I can talk, I swear. Would have been something, but they didn't even have nothing. So they moved to the Amway Center. They go in there, and now security's. They didn't even acknowledge them enough to even give us, if they would have been here, they could have security all around the building and have Retribution come up and not be able to get in, go away, and we go, oh, okay, they couldn't get in tonight. They souped up security or something, I don't know.
That would have made more sense. But then again, we're expecting WWE to make sense.
But I just don't know how you build all these weeks with this group, and then at the biggest pay-per-view of the summer, biggest party, they're a no-show. They don't interfere in any way, shape, or form. What did the security demanded? You will not mess with SummerSlam, or else you're all fired.
Even though they don't work for you yet.
Supposedly.
Yeah, literally, yes.
So, I don't know. It's an interesting situation with all that. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what is going to happen there. I guess tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw we will find out some more on that. So we get ready for Monday. Ready the rest of this week. Find out what's going on. We've had title changes this week. Cody Rhodes dropped the TNT title, which I guess because they're on TNT, I get it, but it's still
Remember, Cody doesn't believe in mid-card titles, so that's supposed to be a main event title?
Oh, I don't know what end title this is, and it doesn't make sense because it's not.
Well, see, we're used to a hierarchy as opposed to having more than one main event title.
Well, but we have two main event titles in WWE.
But they're on separate brands. This is on one brand.
I know, but it's
again, we're programmed for a certain hierarchy.
Well, it's not even a hierarchy. I mean, you can put the TNT title, but I feel like the TNT title is like your TV title. That's how I feel like it is.
Well, considering it's a television channel, I can see that.
To me, I feel it's like a TV title. It's cool. I don't mind that, but it's like, I don't know if I like that. I guess if it's TNT, it stays on TNT. What happens if they don't stay on TNT? Do they can change the title name? TNT.
Or drop the title altogether?
I just don't. The TNT title. I don't know. It sounds like something I would find on old school TNA. Like some dumbass. They had some of the dumbest titles in TNA. What was it?
Dark Right on there.
They have like the old what was the main event title for the older guys, like the Hall of Fame title or something? I forget.
Well, they started off with Booker T, and they called it the Legends title.
Yes, there you go. And then
that ran its course for a while. Then they changed it and called it the TV title.
Mm-hmm. And then it changed again. Mm-hmm. Oh, and then they had the what was the fight one with the rounds? What was that belt name?
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
I think that's what that became eventually.
Mm-hmm. It became that was introduced as its own title.
But I forget what they called that title. That was.
I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember what it's called right now.
And now they have the Impact World Championship and the TNA World Championship. But I guess the TNA is not really an active title. It's just Moose is like.
Mm-hmm. That's the story. Yes.
I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna have a title because I can't get the other title. Like, and why would they have anything Impact at this point in their career that would be TNA related? I get the nostalgia aspect, but
one is nostalgia. Two, they still own the rights to it.
No, I get that, but why would you even want to promote anything that says TNA? Because TNA left such a bad taste before they officially got it over.
For me, I do have a certain nostalgia towards it, and I do like the idea of them bringing it back slowly, not to take over the Impact, but maybe as a secondary show or they can rebuild. They can rebuild that brand if they choose to, and I like the challenge of it personally.
Do they need 2 shows? Do we need 2 shows from another wrestling company?
Well, that depends how many
companies
you watch.
Not 2 shows, but should we have 2 brands in another wrestling company? I mean, WWE's not even really following their true brand split anymore, and they've milked. I mean, now they're even blending in NXT into it all. Like they kind of ruined that hierarchy and that system too. I wish WWE would just get rid of one of the world titles, get back the world title, Intercontinental title, U.S. title, get the Cruiserweight on the main roster. Cruiserweight, see what they do, Vince. And maybe, 24/7 if they wanted to go back with a hardcore type of feel, or maybe a TV title in that sense.
What I think they should do with the 24/7 title is make that the title that they fight for Raw Underground.
That maybe
even change the name, just so if it's
Underground champion. They're gonna make their own Underground champion. That shit just needs to go away. It was on purpose.
You don't think so?
I don't think it. I'm here to watch wrestling. If I wanted to go watch UFC fighting, go watch UFC fighting. Can it build characters? Sure, it can build characters, but I'm like, yeah.
They're not doing it in their regular segments, so they gotta figure something out.
I don't see a point in the long time. I just don't know how long it's gonna last.
I've read some people are for it, some people are against it. Just like for you, it doesn't do anything for you. I'm not super over with it, but I like its potential, so I'm still willing to give it longer to see what they do with it, if they do anything with it.
I just don't know how long it's gonna last. But it's just kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I guess now that Shane McMahon is the executive vice president or executive president or producer or whatever the title is, so they make their titles too much in WWE. Over Raw, it's over Raw. I mean, that's what it is. So it may stay around because I heard that is his thing, which we've known for the longest time because he wanted to buy UFC when it first came out. He wanted to buy all that stuff in the beginning. Eventually,
he wanted to make, when they had ECW, he wanted to make that an online underground show.
Yeah. Yeah, but ECW in a ring and an underlying show that would have fit. This Raw Underground, it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's just...
For some fans, it's a bit confusing because it's 2 different aesthetics.
Yeah.
Like Lucha Underground made it work, but that's because it was the whole show, not a segment.
Yeah. Yeah, see, as its own brand, you might be able to buy it and believe into it because you're buying into everything that's going on there. But, and then again, it's like some of the wrestlers that they're taking to put over there, and then they had Nia Jax go over there and beat up everybody last time, and it's kind of tired of Nia Jax. Nia Jax, no offense, Dwayne, but Nia just needs to go away. She's hurt too many people. She doesn't present anything to me anymore. Like, they killed her character. Some of it's not her fault. Some of it's the credit team, the heel to the baby face against Alexa Bliss. Don't feel sorry for me because I'm a big girl. To the heel, and then I guess we got to thank her because it was all because of her seemingly that she broke Becky Lynch's nose, and then Becky Lynch got over, and all the fans got high behind Becky Lynch, and then we had 2 belt Becky. I mean, that's the only reason Becky
2 belts.
Only reason Becky got hot all of a sudden. I mean, and Becky was like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to give her credit. Becky was hot and did everything great. Why she got engaged and had a new thing to be set behind her. So, it's a whole different level. So, Raw Underground, it's, I don't know, I haven't bought into it yet. I don't know if it was its own brand on its own show for an hour. Maybe I can be more invested because I can know some of the people in there, but they're taking more wrestlers than peons. Like, what's his name? Eric? Is it Eric? Yeah.
Oh, Kamara and Ivar?
Yeah.
The Viking Raiders.
Viking Raiders. The Viking Experience. God, worst thing ever. I don't know. It just depends on what they do with it. I just haven't bought into it because I'm like, yeah. What are they going to do Raw Underground in the Thunderdome?
That's that's questionable.
Because you're going to cut to a segment, so it's everybody who's watching going to be just like sitting there and looking in their ear and going, dun, 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 dun. Or are they going to come up with Sky? I mean, I guess I got to see how this works out when you're sitting in the seat. I mean, what are you seeing? What am I seeing? Like, am I sitting in that seat and seeing from that seat view, or am I just seeing like the normal cameras? So I guess it's got to be a different experience, though.
I'm only guessing because I don't know, isn't it? But I'm guessing you're going to see wherever the camera work is. I don't think you're going to see from the seat view. That'd be way more tech that they'd have to, install in.
But they've been doing it with basketball, so I'm like, what do you see in basketball? I mean, I guess you can see the camera angles, but I mean, I'm not saying the seat, but they can remove you from it, so you're not watching the show. So there's got to be something to it that you would want to go do it that's going to be different than what you can watch on TV. That's for sure.
Yeah, we'll see. Or should I say, you'll see.
I will see. I'm going to find out tomorrow for sure. I'm going to throw some plans off, but yeah, I'll find out tomorrow how that plays out. So, is there anything else you'd like to discuss?
I think we're here. I think it's time to end it.
Yeah, well, I think that's a wrap for this week. Hopefully we've given you some new information, outlook, and some different ideas and opinions. If you would, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, number 1. Hit that, ring that bell for notifications so whenever we post new content, new videos, it'll come up. And you never know when we're going to post videos. We're just starting this brand. We want to build this brand. We want to become number 1. We need you, everybody, to like, share, subscribe, favorite. And we're going to build this brand. I hope to eventually get us to a point where we have a Twitter and Instagram page that we're going to build on and do that for the Value of Wrestling. We do have Facebook, which will be in the link below, where you can go read our Facebook page, keep updated on there, where we might be more live videos. We may also do our own individual videos from time to time, so we may pop on here, doing our own little feed from here and there, but we're basically going to try and at least once a week come up with some video content, put it up here for you for now. If this becomes something you like and we get subscribers, we get people coming in, maybe we'll go bigger, maybe we'll get to a point where we can do, show reviews and work from there. It's just, this is the beginning. Well, we welcome you along on this journey. We hope that you join us and enjoy this journey as we start out, and we're going to go from here. So for right now, this has been the Value of Wrestling podcast. I'm the big time BT Baldwin. This is
Hollis Clark,
and we thank you for watching. Have a good night.